You don't need to fight it anymore. We all know it. Stephen Curry is the best player in the NBA. Just from me to you, it's fine. You can accept it. I know you've seen the light. I know a lot of people had already seen the light, but if you hadn't before, you've seen it now. And you might be saying, this is hypocritical coming from someone who called Jokic the clear MVP just a couple of weeks ago. And yes, I did say those words. And at the time, I didn't forecast Stephen Curry, even as big a fan of Stephen Curry as I am, going on a 40-point streak over the next 10 games coming off an injury. I did not forecast that, so that has thrown his name into the mix, and right now, I don't know who to pick, honestly. I know you guys would probably be clicking on this video wanting me to say Stephen Curry is my MVP now. Honestly, I don't know. Just raffle it off. Give it to both of them at this point in time. They're both just having ridiculous seasons. It doesn't make sense anymore, and I'm not here to try and distinguish those two. I am still here to say Stephen Curry is the best player in the NBA. I'm not shying away from that. I'm just saying that I'm not too sure who's the MVP at this point in time. It is a very hard decision to make. But yeah, like I've said, Stephen Curry has gone ballistic. That might be an understatement. Over the last 11 games that he's played, missing one of those games in which the Warriors got blown out by 53 points to the Toronto Raptors in the game that he missed. But in the other 11 games that he's played, well, he's averaged 40 points, 6 rebounds, 4.5 assists on nearly 54, 50, 90 shooting splits. You thought I said something wrong? No, I said over an 11-game stretch, Steph has taken nearly 163s and made about half of them. What do you even say about this anymore? This guy is breaking everything we know about this game. He is playing a different game. He's been doing it for a while, but right now he is playing a different sport. I don't know what sport it is. Eventually, it'll be called, I guess, the Stephen Curry sport, but it's a different sport entirely, and he's making it look like a joke out there. It's honestly a joke for him. He just steps into pull-up threes, all of this while getting double-teamed practically every possession from half-court, double-teamed off the ball. During the game, it's not like, oh, the last possession, the last shot, don't allow Steph to get the ball. Oh, 6 minutes into the third quarter, let's just double team him without the ball even touching his hands. He'll still manage to score off that possession, but those are the kind of defensive assignments, the defensive schemes that he's facing on a nightly basis, and it just doesn't matter. It just does not matter because his combination of finishing, shooting, ability, everything that you want to talk about is just so elite that it's got to the level where you're throwing defensive schemes out the window, whatever you can think of. The best coaches in the NBA, the best wing defenders in the NBA, Matisse Thybulle, Danny Green, at him at the same time. No one can do anything to stop this guy, and well, that's why he's the best player in the NBA, in my opinion. Now, before I go any further, before I talk about the numbers, the stats, the impact, all of those things, if you could drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, that would be much appreciated. I make content like this close to every single day, and doing so, it's free. It would just be greatly appreciated. Now, before I go further, can I just ask you guys a question? What's your reaction when you see Stephen Curry doing all of this stuff? I'm genuinely curious, from me to you, what's your reaction? Because mine is something like this, just sitting there watching the game, and I just start laughing. Oh, Steph has made another 40-foot jump shot. Oh, Steph has now broken another defender's ankles, hit a step-back jump shot from 30 feet to ice the game after making 5 threes in a row. I just laugh. Do you stand up and applaud? Do you just sit there like this? I don't know what you do. That's why I'm curious. Genuinely, this isn't a joke. Genuinely, I'm curious. So, what is your reaction to Steph Curry? Because at the moment, all I do is laugh. There's no wrong reaction unless you're maybe busting out a box of tissues, which might be a bit too far. But what do some of these numbers look like? What do some of the numbers of the best player in the NBA look like having the best stretch of potentially his career? Well, let's just look through a few of them. He now has more games with 10 or more threes than anyone does in NBA history. Yeah, we know that. But I mean, like this season, he's had 6 games of 10 or more threes. No one in NBA history over their career has had more than 5. His teammate Klay has the most at 5. So in one season, Steph Curry has put up more games with 10 or more threes than the other best shooters of all time have in their entire career. Steph is now the oldest player to score 30 plus points in 11 consecutive games, overtaking Kobe Bryant. And it just feels weird to say that Stephen Curry is 33 years of age. Like, I don't know why, but it just doesn't seem right. Is it because he's the baby-faced assassin? Is it because his prime was a little bit later than other superstars? I don't exactly know why. Something feels weird about him being 33 years old. I don't think that's just me either. But anyways, forgetting about that, he's on track to be the 5th player to average 40 points in a month, joining Wilt, Harden, Kobe, and the late Elgin Baylor. Now, I wasn't bothered trying to figure out those guys' shooting splits, but for some reason, I think that Steph might be the most efficient of those guys currently, shooting 50, 50, 90 just about, and making about half of his threes while taking about 16 a game or something ridiculous. I think he might be the most efficient of those guys. Just a hint. So I think his efficiency might be up there. Another nice stat is the fact that Steph currently averages the 7th most fourth quarter points in the league. That's a cool stat, right? It's a little bit cooler when you consider he's averaging less than 6 minutes a game in fourth quarters, and well, he's shooting 50, 50, 96 in fourth quarters. Yeah, that's kind of nasty. And just a couple of more stats to round things off. Just a few more stats just to throw out there and show you exactly the kind of numbers he's working with and the impact he's having on his team. On the season without Steph, in the 8 games the Golden State Warriors have played, they are 1-7. They have an offensive rating of 102.8, which is good for worst in the league, below the Oklahoma City G League team that they have been rolling out for the last 30 games. They're worse than those guys, and in the 50 games that Steph has played, they have a record of 28-22 and an offensive rating of 111.9, which is good for 14th in the NBA. So from worst in the NBA to above average. That's the difference of Steph and Curry. Oh yeah, and then just for on-off stats in terms of while he's on the court and when he's not off the court, not just him missing games in total. When he's on the court, the Warriors have a rating of 114.5, which is good for 8th in the NBA. When he's off the court, they have a rating of 103.9, which is just narrowly ahead of the OKC Thunder. So that's the difference he makes when he's on the court and when he's off the court, and when he's not playing and when he's playing. So you see the kind of impact he's having. It's a pretty sizable one for someone that wasn't able to play without all-star teammates. At least that's what I heard. Did you guys hear that? I heard that as well. He's not able to play without all-star teammates? Maybe we'll have to come back to that one another year. Now, outside of the stats and me just pretty much ranting over how good Steph is, this is where a content creator like myself would like to incorporate some film, which I can't do because the NBA tends to copyright and sometimes just block the videos in general once you put that up. But with Steph, I don't even need to show you highlights. I don't need to show you clips because there's something even better in my opinion, and that is just showing you images that show exactly how defenses are trying to play this man and exactly what teams are trying to do to stop this guy at all costs. Now here's a good one from the most recent Philadelphia game, and before I even get into that, let me just quickly talk about the Philly game because getting caught up in all the madness of his points over the last 11 games, just how many points he scored in total, what we forgot to look at is the fact that, like usual, Steph checked into the fourth quarter about halfway through it, 6 minutes and 54 remaining to be exact. 40 seconds later, he hits a 3. He had 29 points at the time of hitting this 3. He had 32 after that. And then he proceeded to hit 4 more threes after that, hitting 5 threes and scoring 20 points in under 7 minutes. That's what he did in the fourth quarter against one of the best defenses in the league with the game on the line against Matisse Thybulle, Danny Green. It's not like he was playing against Alexei Pokusevski. Sorry, Poku. I love Poku, but you get the point. He was playing against elite wing defenders, and he managed to drop the game on the line in the space of 7 minutes while hitting 5 threes and missing 1 shot, I believe. Maybe 2, I don't know. But he didn't miss many shots either. Those are the kind of numbers and the kind of impact he can have on a game, just like that. Just like that. That's simple. So getting back to the image, here you can see Embiid switched onto Curry, and well, behind Embiid was a couple of defenders. It was basically 2.5 defenders focused on Steph. You had the guys behind him as well in Danny Green and Seth Curry who were also interested, and why I say 2.5 defenders is because Korkmaz was kind of just hedging his bets, but you had 2 defenders literally guarding Curry and then half defender in Korkmaz who was hedging his bets between Curry and the shooter. So that's the kind of defensive scheme Philadelphia were trying to throw at Curry. Here's a couple of other ones. You have the Mavs, just a classic Curry one where he has the defender trailing him. The big tries to step up. He's not really close enough because Steph is too quick and too good. And Luke is also in the picture, fixated on what Steph's about to do. And one from the recent game against Boston where at half court you have Kemba and Tatum double teaming him at half court. And you also have the other three defenders looking directly at what he's doing at half court while getting double teamed. Those are just a few images though. You could go through other images, you could go through the highlights, the film, just watch the games and you'd see that this man is getting double teamed off the ball, on the ball, triple teamed, it doesn't matter. All the defensive schemes are getting thrown at him and nothing is sticking right now, which is why he's having one of the best stretches in NBA history. But just in terms of why I think Steph is currently the best player in basketball and why I've thought it for a couple of years now. Again, this is my opinion, and I'm not saying you have to believe Steph is the best player in basketball, although over the last 11 games, it's not a dispute. That is literally a fact that he's the best player in basketball. I mean, he just is, but in terms of over the last couple of years, that's up for you to decide, but it kind of talks about what I've already mentioned in terms of his impact, the presence he has, the defense that gets chucked at him. I mean, Draymond Green is a perfect example. He's a great passer, but he doesn't average half the assists he's getting right now if Steph isn't on the team. Because, I mean, Steph is passing it over the top of him once he faces a double. Draymond Green has the ball somewhere in the middle of the post kind of area and then finds open cutters because all of the defensive attention is on Steph. We always talk about the bigs passing out of doubles, but we don't talk about Steph kind of assuming a double or seeing a double or facing a double and getting rid of it because it's not quite as easy to spot as a big man posting up and getting double teamed and then finding the cutter. It's normally the pass to Draymond who then kicks it to the open shooter or the cutter. Those are the kind of plays he makes, and just in general, the defense plays him the same way they would whether he's 3 of 15 or 10 of 16. It just doesn't matter. So he's still creating shots for his teammates, whether he's making them himself or not. His gravity, his off-ball movement, his ability to find space and create space, all of it is the best in the league, and that's why I think he is the best player in the NBA. And well, when you consider all of those things and why it makes him so great, and then look at the last 11 games and just this season in general, it's him at his absolute peak, and it is something else to watch right now. So that's why I thought I'd make a video just clarifying that Stephen Curry is still the best player in the NBA and has been for a couple of years, in my opinion. Again, my opinion, I'm sure a lot of people agree with me, particularly after what we've seen. It's hard to disagree whether he's going to win the MVP or not. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not even going to put my hand up and say I do. Jokic is having a great season as well, so let's not forget that. Anyways, if you did enjoy the video, a like would be greatly appreciated. Have a great day. I'll catch you next time. Bye.